Okay.
Feels pressure up the middle. He'll be wrapped up and thrown down by John Chan. Rifling down the middle, picked up by Jeremy Miles. He runs it right to the zone. Touchdown, Navy!
First of all, let me just say congratulations to the senior class. You just accomplished something that you'll remember the rest of your life. Nobody can ever take that away from you. The first class in Naval Academy history to go 8-0 against the other two service academies.
The story of the 2006 Navy midshipmen isn't so much the study of a single season as it is the continuation of a 4-year revival, one that coincided with the arrival of 35 players determined to lead the Mids back to the postseason, which they would do each of their first 3 years together while returning the Commander-in-Chief's trophy to Annapolis, where it remained as they set out to write the next chapter, one of the greatest on-field eras in Navy history. And contrary to the claim of an arch rival, marked the Mids' return to dominance of Academy football. Marching into their opener, the midshipmen were accompanied by great expectations. As one of just 7 teams in the nation to win a bowl game each of the previous 2 years, their recent success helped establish a new record for season ticket sales. And with the return of 16 starters, an air of optimism lingered over Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium on this first Saturday of September, even as the Mids braced for a challenge from much improved East Carolina, which, like Navy, was bound to go bowling by season's end. Despite starting deep in their own end, the Mids' initial series turned out like so many others since fifth-year coach Paul Johnson installed his option offense in Annapolis. On the 13th play, first-time starter Brian Hampton fed Shun White for an early edge. After the Pirates rallied to move in front, the Mids produced their first takeaway, and soon Hampton took advantage to tie it at 14. Early in the second half, fullback Adam Ballard provided a lead that Navy would never relinquish, thanks to its defense. A fourth quarter score by Reggie Campbell, and 9 straight runs by Hampton, who'd finish with 149 yards, secured a 28-23 victory. It was Navy's 15th in its last 17 home games. More important, it was the first of the new year. The Mids would celebrate their next a week later, once more at the expense of an opponent destined for the postseason. On their way to the Division I AA National Championship game, the UMass Minutemen took a 14-7 lead in Annapolis. It disappeared midway through the second quarter on the second carry of the day for senior Matt Hall.
Hit to the 40, 35 with a cutback left, and the clear to the 25-20, inside the 15-10. Matt will take it to the house, a dime for a touchdown, Navy!
For the second straight week, Navy's defense tightened its hold on the opposition before Reggie Campbell could ignite an offensive spark.
A 10-play, 11-yard series with a swing of the leg. Kepler drives it toward Campbell. Reggie on the run to his right, angles back to the goal line. Now slants left past the 10, 15, 20, out to the 25, 30. Campbell cut back left at the 40, on the run to the 45, 50. Reggie in a foot race to the 35, and he's cut from behind and taken down inside the 30. A touchdown saving play. 3rd and 2 for the Mids. Kaipo Noah inside fake, quarterback up the middle, slants it left to the 10, to the 5.
After sophomore Kaipo Noah, Kahe Akuinhata scored while spelling Hampton at quarterback, senior DeJuan Price helped preserve the narrowest of Navy leads in a 21-20 victory. To play their first road game of '06, the midshipmen paid their first regular season visit to California since 1997 to christen the brand new Stanford Stadium, where they made themselves very much at home. Navy overwhelmed the Cardinal with nearly 450 yards of offense, including Hampton's 8 of 11 passing performance. The Navy quarterback also rushed for 2 scores, as did slot back Reggie Campbell, who combined with Adam Ballard to run for 230 yards, while each eclipsed the century mark. At the same time, Navy allowed only 75 yards on the ground. It didn't surrender a touchdown until the final quarter, as they continued to shine under the lights opposite a Pac-10 foe in a 37-9 rout. 2 weeks later, following a 1-point loss to Tulsa in the Mids' first ever overtime affair, Navy hit the road again to encounter another BCS conference opponent. This time, UConn out of the Big East. The Mids' start was stunning, featuring a 3-and-out forced by the defense and a 1-and-done from the offense. Soon thereafter, Irv Spencer pounced on a fumble created by Ty Adams. Navy hit the Huskies with yet another big play, as it would do all afternoon.
To those chants of Reggie. Ace formation for the Mids. Campbell is now out. Hines replacing him from the right slot. The inside handoff to Ballard. Straight ahead, breaking a hit. Slipping another on the run inside the 10. And tripped up as he falls to the wet turf at the East Carolina.
For the Mids from the 32. Option roll, wide side left pitch for Reggie. Campbell slips in, runs to the near side, 35-40. Campbell to midfield, along the near sideline to the 35-30. Reggie is on the run, and he's gone to the 5, to the end zone. Moving left to right, counteraction to the short side left. Hampton will keep Brian Slipsing it, moves into UConn terrain, off another tackle try, down the far side of the 30, 25-20. Brian Hampton is gone. A touchdown for Navy.
Up against a defense ranked 10th nationally, the Mids amassed more than 600 yards on their way to a 41-17 runaway. Of course, the other units did their parts too, turning UConn over twice in its first 3 series, and a third time on a late punt return ending in a fumble recovery by Navy's Anthony Piccioni, who a week later would join his senior classmates in a bid to achieve the unprecedented. Every autumn, the opening weekend of October offers the first leg in the quest for the Commander-in-Chief's trophy as Navy intersects Air Force. Lately, this annual rite of Academy football has resulted in a string of thrilling finishes in favor of the midshipmen, who entered this encounter with their first 3-game winning streak against the Falcons in the late 70s. Much like the most recent meetings of these option-oriented rivals, each offense struggled early on. After Navy lost possession in Air Force territory twice in the first quarter, the Falcons gave it back in the game's 15th minute when Keenan Little gave the Mids a huge pick-me-up. Literally.
Kendrick, Carney carries to the left, drops the football on the turf, picked up by Keenan Little on the run down the right side, 20, 15, 10, goodbye, touchdown, Navy!
Soon after Little's 37-yard return produced the first points, Air Force answered, and the game was tied at 7-all. But then, with the Falcons' intent of shutting off long gains from the outside, Navy went to work on the inside. 12 of the Mids' next 14 plays were runs by fullback Adam Ballard, quarterback Brian Hampton, putting a 4th down conversion near midfield. And the carry that capped the 80-yard drive, lifting Navy into a lead and continued to expand early in the second half. Midway through the third quarter, Matt Harmon connected on a 38-yard field goal, and on the second play of the fourth, Hampton finished another 80-yard march, this time with a 2-yard rush. Still, far from over, the 39th encounter in this rivalry took a turn like so many others in the past. First, a field goal, then a touchdown, finally an onside recovery, according to the Falcons, a chance with 3 minutes to go. But 3 plays netted just 4 yards, leaving the Mids with one last stand to reign supreme once more as Academy football royalty. Despite playing with an injured shoulder, sophomore Rashawn King's diving deflection put the ball back in the hands of Hampton, who fittingly, as the son of an Air Force man, secured the 24-17 victory with one final carry as part of his 4th 100-yard outing in 6 starts. Ballard also gained 100 yards on the ground with his tough running between the tackles, while the senior linebacker trio of David Mahoney, who had 3 sacks, Rob Caldwell, himself the source of a sack, Tyler Tidwell combined for 25 tackles. Of course, most important wasn't what each accomplished individually, it's what they and their classmates had done collectively. They'd beaten Air Force for a 4th consecutive season, and in doing so, were now 7-0 lifetime, against their academy counterparts. The Mids were still riding that emotional high when they returned to Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium to face unbeaten Rutgers before a record crowd. But before long, they found themselves dealing with heartbreak. Playing by the motto to approach every game like it might be his last, Brian Hampton was in the midst of one of the most prolific campaigns in school history. The Navy quarterback had to be carted off the field, headed towards season-ending knee surgery. The Mids couldn't recover against the Scarlet Knights, nor were they bound to prevail 2 weeks later against another nationally ranked opponent, Notre Dame. Still, with nearly 72,000 looking on in Baltimore, sophomore quarterback Kaipo Noah Kahe Akuenhata quickly proved himself more than capable at quarterback. At 5-3, the Mids needed only a win at Duke to ensure a return to North Carolina for December's Meineke Car Care Bowl in Charlotte. After spotting their hosts the first 6 points, they didn't just run over the Blue Devils, they continued to roll right through an undefeated November. Navy scored on its first 4 series, including a fullback dive by Adam Ballard and a much longer dash by Shun White.
The pitch goes to Shun White at the 35. Cut back left inside the 30. On his way to the 20. 15-10. Right side 5. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Navy!
Rushing for more than 400 yards, the Mids rarely looked to throw. But when they did,
20. Campbell, the left wing back. From the right in motion is Urban Singleton. Fake of the toss sweep. Kaipo Noah to pass. Throws deep down the middle. Campbell is open in the end zone. Touchdown, Navy!
Meanwhile, there was little Duke could do to counter the Navy onslaught. Including Ty Adams' 2 sacks, the Navy pressure on the Blue Devils never abated until the outcome was decided, 38-13. Within a week, the Mids went from one of the game's oldest stadiums to one of its grandest, Ford Field, site of Super Bowl 40, one of 4 NFL venues to welcome the Mids in 2006. Invited to the Motor City to play Eastern Michigan at the home of Detroit's Lions, the Mids roared to a 4-touchdown lead. Kahe Akuenhata scored from the 1 before returning under center at the very same spot on 4th and goal. The first 4 possessions of the second quarter resulted in 2 Eagles turnovers, 2 more Navy touchdowns. Fullback Eric Gattani scored his first collegiate touchdown on a 9-yard run, part of a team-leading 91-yard afternoon. 3 minutes later, linebacker Clint Sovey recorded his own milestone.
Sets up the screen to the right. Pass is picked off by Clint Sovey. Runs it back inside the 35. And Sovey, reading that play all the way, tackled at the 34-yard line.
Sovey's first career pick led to Kahe Akuenhata's 3rd rushing touchdown. He'd soon add another in Navy's 49-21 triumph. The Mids maintained their momentum into the next weekend, featuring their first game at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium in more than a month. Like any other home finale, it was emotional, but especially so for the football class of '07. 35 seniors who represented the cornerstone of Navy's recent restoration. Among them was Eddie Martin. All season, his teammates wore his number on their helmets in a show of support as Martin battled lymphoma with his typical grace. Once again on this day, Senior Day, he led them onto the field and into their matchup with Temple. There was no stopping Martin, and as the Owls quickly discovered, no stopping Navy.
Back left, Campbell to the right. Hines moves in motion to the right, takes the toss. Sweeping right, Trey Hines, the senior, into the end zone. Touchdown!
Jumping ahead so quickly and by so much, the Mids teed off on the Owls quarterbacks with a school record 7 sacks, including 2 by Ty Adams. Overall, the Mids allowed only 13 rushing yards, their lowest total in 7 years. And as they continued to pull away, the blue and gold got a boost from a final burst by Shun White.
Right with Ballard in the 3-point stance. In motion is White. Toss sweep to Shun. Runs it right with a bullet inside the 45. Cut back to the 40. A burst beyond the 30. On the run to the 20. 15-10 to the 5. To the end zone. Touchdown, Navy!
In a fitting tribute to the so-called firsties, especially those often overshadowed by others, Navy's final plays featured Ricky Pyfrom, who completed the Sinnapolis send-off. in a 42-6 win for the Mids. It was career victory 34, leaving Navy seniors just 2 wins shy of a school record set by the class of 1909. Even so, the next win, number 35, would truly set these Mids apart. No group of midshipmen had ever completed their careers with an 8-0 record against Air Force and Army, at least until the 2nd of December, when in the 107th edition of An American Treasure, at the home of Philadelphia's Eagles, Navy looked to soar to heights never before attained as Commander-in-Chief's champion for a 4th straight year. Typical of Army-Navy, pregame pageantry made for a moving experience, with more than 69,000 looking on from South Philly, as well as the millions spread across the globe, so many answering their country's call to duty. Still, however electric the pregame atmosphere, nothing could measure up to the passion of the play. The Black Knights scored first off a double reverse, before the Mids immediately rebutted.
For the Mids from the left hash, Capanoa, counter option to the short side left for Reggie Campbell, takes the pitch, a first at the 5, in for the score! Touchdown!
As the next 26 minutes ticked off the game clock, Army and Navy remained at a standstill, fueled by emotion in a physical showdown. Eventually, the Mids broke through again, thanks to a senior who had saved his best for last in a Navy uniform.
McCoy moves in motion, inside fake, gets a reverse to Jason Tomlinson, running to the left side with plenty of room. 25-20, 15-10, to the 5, Tomlinson to the pylon!
Jason Tomlinson, who be voted the game's MVP, ran the reverse 33 yards. But once ahead, the Mids on defense didn't just protect the lead, they expanded it. Coordinated by Buddy Green at his staff, Navy forced Army into a 4th throw, leading to a 4th quarter interception for Jeff DeLees. Matt Harmon then cut through the swirling winds to separate the Mids from Cadets by 10 points. On the next series, another errant pass put Navy on a clear path to history.
Across the middle, pass intercepted by Keenan Little, runs down the right side 30, 25-20, Little to the 15, and come back left, on the way to a touchdown!
Keenan Little's 40-yard return made him the first midshipman with defensive touchdowns against both Army and Air Force in the same season. With fate unfolding before them, Tyler Tidwell's 2nd sack in as many plays added another score to seal the Navy win. While the last-second score by the Black Knights left the final margin at 26-14, far more significant was simply what victory itself symbolized. How far the Mids had come in 4 years. 35 wins for 35 seniors who remained unbeaten by Academy rivals, and where they were headed to the Meineke Car Care Bowl and a 4th consecutive trip to the postseason. Soon to join the midshipmen in Charlotte were the tens of thousands of fans who annually make Navy the darling of bowl game committees across the country. They were bound for the Queen City, hoping the Mids would deliver their 3rd straight victory in the postseason. And by doing so, end a string of 6 straight bowl wins for Boston College, a team that was but a few plays away from an undefeated season atop the ACC. In the 48 hours leading up to kickoff, players got the adrenaline flowing with a ride around the oval at the Lowe's Motor Speedway, while fans were revved up on the eve of the game at a downtown pep rally. Game day transformed Bank of America Stadium, home of the NFL's Carolina Panthers, into another showcase for the Naval Academy's best and brightest, especially when it was obvious, right from the opening kickoff, the Mids were up to any challenge the Eagles would pose. Though BC struck first, its 6-0 advantage didn't last long, not even surviving Navy's 2nd series, when Trey Hines brought the Mids into Eagles territory. Jason Tomlinson's sensational catch turned 3rd and long into 1st and 10, setting up another pass from Kaiponoa Kahe'akuinhata.
Inside big play action for Kaiponoa. He's in the pocket, looking left, throwing left to the end zone. Roberts is open, and it's a touchdown, Navy!
Mids would regain possession near midfield with Jeremy McGowan's 3rd interception of the season. By the second minute of the second quarter, we're back on the board.
Ocean inside fake play action for Carpanoa. He's in the pocket, looking left, throwing left to the end zone. Barnes is open, and it's a touchdown, Navy!
Later, with the lead reduced to 1, Sean White broke off a 53-yard run. And when facing 3rd and 17, again it was Tomlinson rising to the occasion.
Right at the 5. Zerbin spinning his way. He's in the pocket, looking left, throwing left to the end zone. Barnes is open, and it's a touchdown, Navy!
That ball
Singleton's
With a 5-point lead at the half, the Navy slot backs again went to work. It was now a matter of holding on. Glenn Sobey's interception halted one Eagle drive. David Mahoney's sack derailed another. And when the Eagles scored to draw within 2, Navy withstood an attempt to tie. Although fate would eventually frown on the Mids this final weekend of '06, they had again given longtime fans reason to applaud, while no doubt converting so many others by introducing them to what makes Navy football special. Twice during the season, the resilient Mids lost their leading ball carrier to injury. First, Brian Hampton, later Adam Ballard, and yet theirs remained the nation's top rushing offense, a credit to the often overshadowed linemen, such as returning starters James Rossi, the center and co-captain, Zach Gallion, Matt Pritchett, and Antron Harper. Behind their blocks, not only did 5 different Mids run past the century mark in a single game, each did it at least on 2 occasions. While Kaiponoa, Kahe, Aku, and Hata became Navy's 4th different quarterback to start a bowl game in as many years, Jason Tomlinson completed his career among the Mids' top 10 in receiving yards. Reggie Campbell, selected honorable mention All-East, continued his ascent amidst the all-time best, including a school record 7+ yards per rushing attempt. On defense, John Chan fought through both injuries and blocks to share the team lead with 7 sacks, while Ty Adams added 4 of his own. As for David Wright, his emergence included an 8-tackle effort versus Notre Dame. At outside linebacker, both David Mahoney and Tyler Tidwell finished among Navy's all-time leaders in sacks and tackles for loss. As an All-East honoree, Mahoney was invited to the Hula Bowl. Meanwhile, Tidwell was chosen for the East-West Shrine Game. Fellow linebacker Rob Caldwell, the co-captain on defense, led the team in tackles for the 2nd consecutive year. And out of the secondary, it was senior Keenan Little, appointed All-East, as was freshman Jeremy Miles, the ECAC Rookie of the Year. Senior Jeremy McGowan was the Mids' 3rd leading tackler, while recording a team-high 3 interceptions. Yet again, special teams proved solid for the Mids as Matt Harmon took over for an injured Joey Bullen at kicker. The combination of Matt Oberlander to Jared Bryant, snapper to holder, was flawless. On kickoffs, the charge of the midshipmen was often led by Anthony Piccioni or Zerbin Singleton, who not only covered the punts of Greg Vedito, but pushed him to excel in the classroom. In fact, as engineering majors, both were named Academic All-District. So too was chemistry major Byron McCoy. They did their parts to set a higher standard, outside and inside the lines, and to help a group of 35 seniors leave their legacy as the Mids' most successful class of the modern era, which in 2006 meant taking Navy football where it had never been before, and at the same time, marking the Mids' return to dominance.
take it.